guys, this is Jason with MuseGrid.com. In this video, I'm going to show you how to install Hotjar. Now from MuseGrid.com, you'll download Hotjar to your local machine. Wherever it is that you downloaded it to, find that location and look for the .zip file. In my case, it happens to be the desktop. Once you find it, double-click on the zip file, and you'll find that it extracts out a .mulib file. Double-click on that .mulib file, and you'll notice that it opens up Muse, and it gives you this prompt saying that it imported one library item, and you can of course view that in design mode. We're going to click OK. I also have open the website that I'm going to be installing Hotjar to, which is called Katai Sushi. Now Katai Sushi is a template from MuseGrid as well, but we're kind of pretending like this is a client website and we're installing Hotjar for them. So to install Hotjar, what we want to do is not open up one of our web pages. We actually want to open up our master page. We want to install this at the master page level so that Hotjar tracks all of our web pages. You do not have to install it on a per page basis. So now that we have the master page open, we'll go to our library, and of course, yep, you'll see it. There's two of them installed, only because I guess I triple clicked. I'm just going to work off the first one. And I'm going to take the Hotjar widget and I'm going to simply drag it out to my design canvas. But I'm going to drag it up outside the actual canvas area because I really don't need it inside here. I could keep it there if I wanted to because there are no design elements that will be rendered to page once it's published. But I kind of want it out of my way while I'm designing inside my site. So I'm going to keep it right up here and then I'll expand out these settings. So there are two things that we need to make sure happen at this point. Number one is we need to go create our free Hotjar account, and we're going to do that in just a moment. Secondly, I'm going to operate under the assumption that you're installing this into a live. When we create our Hotjar account and we install Hotjar in, Hotjar is going to expect that the website is accessible from Hotjar so that they can go track and verify that Hotjar has been successfully installed. So the first thing we're going to do is go create our free Hotjar account. So if you click there, you'll be taken out to Hotjar, and you're going to click this big red button right here in the middle. Now, you'll see that there's two simple steps. Now, I'm not going to go through the process of creating an account again because I already have an account. We actually use Hotjar on MuseGrid.com. But there's one thing I wanted to point out on step 2. I'm not going to be able to show it to you because I'm not going to make it to step 2. But on step 2, it's going to ask for your website address. And so this is where you're going to put in the current production website address for this website. So for example, if the website that you're creating is for a company, and let's just make this up, we'll call it ABC Supply, something like that. And their website address is abcsupply.com, well, that's what you're going to put in. So you need to make sure that you actually have a production-ready website location for this Muse website to be published to, or otherwise Hotjar will never be able to pick up on the tracking. Okay, now that you've made it through your setup process, you're going to end up on a page that looks something like this. So in my particular case, my web address is hotjardemo.simpleflame.com. That's where I'm going to be publishing my website to. And since it is a fully qualified URL address here, you'll see that Hotjar will be able to make its way all the way out to this website to verify that in fact Hotjar is installed. However, we have to go ahead and get it installed and published to this location so Hotjar can pick it up. So you'll see that tracking is inactive. Well, that's currently the case because we haven't installed it yet. All I need for you to do is to come up here and grab this number right here. I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to go over to Muse, where I have Hotjar installed, and I'm going to simply click the settings panel. I'm going to go in here and paste. So now I've installed my tracking ID. Okay, so from this point right now, Hotjar is installed. Or actually, maybe it's not completely installed, but because if you remember correctly, I actually had two master pages here. So I can right click and go to masters and see that, yep, this particular master page is not inheriting this master page. So guess what? I'm going to need to install it on this one as well. And the reason I chose this template to go through to give you an example is because I suspect you have websites that will probably work the same way. So what do I need to do? I need to come right back on out to this master page. I'm going to install the Hotjar widget. I'm going to drag it up out of the way. and I am going to, of course, then paste my tracking code in there again. Okay, so at this point right now, I have master page A and B. Okay, so if I close these out, you'll see that those are the only two master pages I have, and you'll see that all of my web pages are, of course, inheriting those master pages. So at this stage right now, these 4 web pages will be tracked inside of Hotjar. The last thing we've just got to do is publish the site now. So we're going to go to Publish. Yep, and it's going to give us some messages there. We're just going to ignore. From your options, of course, you're going to select Publish To. You'll see that I've actually already got this set up and it's publishing to it already anyway, but I'm definitely publishing to the domain that, in fact, I set up inside of Hotjar. So I'm going to go ahead and publish that out. And while that's publishing, I'll pause the video. Okay, great. So it's been published. Yeah, I have some warnings in here, but that has nothing to do with Hotjar. And I'm going to go ahead and click View Site. Okay. Now, by clicking View Site, what just happened right now is because Hotjar is installed now on this website, when we go back out to Hotjar and we click Verify Installation, you're going to see, oh, tracking is active now. Because once we published it, and at least the very first visitor visited any page that Hotjar is installed underneath that domain, it will then pick up on the fact that Hotjar is installed. Okay, at this stage right now, Hotjar is installed and you can begin using all of the amazing features that Hotjar has to provide.